This is Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity. Here we are in Elm's Reach, the Elm's Reach district of Twin Elms. We're finally continuing with the main storyline. We've just spoken with the Delangon sisters, and they have told us that we need to get down into a place called Sun and Shadow, where Theos is, or Theos. But we can't get down there without jumping down this crazy pit that will kill us, this evil, whatever pit. And the only way to survive the descent into this place is to get the blessing and favor of the gods. And we don't know how to do that, but we do know that our first hint for how to perhaps do that is to go into this place, this big tower here wrapped up in trees, called Tir Evron. So that is what we're going to do. Pray to the gods in Tir Evron to get the favor of the gods. That's the plan, so in we go.
Right.
Just after finishing a loading screen to get into the game, I get to have another loading screen. Sweet. Good times. The same loading screen, nonetheless. No less is what I meant to say. Nonetheless doesn't make any sense there. The same loading screen, no less. That makes all kinds of sense. Oh, that was a short loading screen. Well, short for this game. Discovered blocked passage. Discovered Hall of Stars. Ooh, it looks cool in here. What is this place? What is this place? Look at these crystals. Nothing seems to be happening so far. Nothing's activating and, attacking me with great, terrible force. Something I can mess with over here. What's this say? Shattered and charred stone blocks the passage into Sun and Shadow. Yeah, that's the very convenient passage that I could have taken. That's where Theos went, but then he destroyed stuff and broke the passage behind him so that I couldn't follow him. But what he doesn't know is I'm about to get some God's favor and follow him anyway. Couldn't I just ask the gods to unblock the passage? Hey, gods, you could bless me and let me go into the pit, or could you just move some of that rubble? That'd be great, thanks. That shouldn't be too much to ask for a god, right? Oh, books. Oh, books. I think I've read most of these. Alright, the Queen That Was and Still Is. This is the book about Wudica. The Midwife's Memoirs. This is the book about Hylia. This is the book about Magron. This is the book about Abaddon. And this is the book about Galawain. Should I read them all again? I think I shall. So here's Galawain. That's like the hunting god. When my students ask to be taught the way of Galawain, I tell them they have already failed. Does one ask a deer to present itself as dinner? Of course not. One must outwit, outmaneuver, and overpower the deer, if one dreams of venison. So it is with the Seeker God. To ask a question is weakness, and idle indecision. To seek answers is to understand, and to become one with Galawain. Survival begins with strength from within. But I only strike my students when they ask this second stupid question. For all of us begin young and weak. It is a point of fact, and not one of shame, and a central tenet to Galawain's teachings. Perseverance and cleverness are prized by Galawain above brute force, a fact my young pups often forget. It is right and proper that the strong lead the weak, and it is equally proper that the strong be continually tested until the balance changes. Galawain celebrates the strength of the victor and the prowess of the well-fed predator, but above all, the clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. Galawain's greatest desire for us is that... Why did my game just minimize itself all of a sudden? That was weird. I didn't touch anything on my keyboard or my mouse. And my game just minimized itself all of a sudden. Okay. Well, moving forward. Galawain's greatest desire for us is that prey becomes predator, Mewling babes grow into strong hunters, and the lost find their own enlightenment. This philosophy is best exemplified by the rites of the Anamfatha of Air Glanfath. When one of the Glanfathan spiritual leaders is old and nearing death, it is customary to enter the woods and confront Galawain's herald. If the seeker god finds that Anamfath's life, deeds, and soul worthy, the reward is a quick death, and his soul joins Galawain's pack. If deemed unworthy, the Anamfath is killed, his soul forced to find its own way to the next life, and his memory erased from the records of the tribe. Survival begins with strength from within, and weak leaders endanger the whole pack. This is Galawain at his purest. Even at the end of life, one must struggle for worthiness, for greatness, just as one must struggle every day to feed his pack. The Seeker God is easy to understand if one actively engages in the quest for knowledge, but his secrets are self-occluding to those who merely ask, desiring knowledge without the requisite hunt. My own flesh and blood once asked me, "Will learning to hunt please Galawain?" I told him yes, but added, Galawain would prefer that you hunt to learn. Alright, so that is what Galawain is all about. What about Abaddon? No, Abaddon's my favorite, I think. I think Abaddon's the cool golem god. We just helped him out. We just had some dealings. I've got his hammer. It's pretty awesome. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. 1. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abaddon rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, as long as the soul is dedicated to the task. 2. Work hard, work well. Abaddon demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions are pure. 3. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft, excel at what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. 4. Each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so, multiply the fruits of your knowledge. 5. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. That one's pretty cool. 6. Embrace your station, fulfill the duties of your rank, and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest length. I don't like that one as much. 7. All loss can be reforged into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to forge wealth anew. 8. Value the works of others, and they will value your works in return. Share the harvest with the hungry, and your tools with the destitute. That one's cool. 9. All souls can be reforged into whatever we will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Just because you died, don't start getting lazy. Abaddon wants you to bust your ass even after you die. Commit yourself to excellence in this cycle and the next. I really like the errors can be reforged into lessons, loss can be reforged into strength kind of stuff. That's good philosophy there. Alright, that's Abaddon. Then there's excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle. This is the one about Magron. This was Durance's god, the god of fire and war. Choice is a luxury we earn through peace. Struggle is our fundamental nature. Even when our war banners sit idle, mankind foments strife. Friends argue with fists, lovers kindle jealousies, merchants compete with lies. Wherever mankind goes, struggle follows. Magron is goddess of fire and war, not bloodshed and conquest, though many in Red Ceres would tell it differently. How bitter they must be that Magron's priests were able to destroy a god made manifest. How bitter indeed. We who worship Magron are not addled barbarians or cloistered mystics. We are soldiers, armorers, watchmen, and bodyguards, artisans of conflict and protectors of our families and flags. We do not salivate for battle. We view war as unwelcome, but struggle is our fundamental nature. We do not pray for strife. We pray for the wisdom to resolve it quickly. That's pretty cool. We do not wish for war, but when it inevitably must be fought, we find divine ecstasy in discipline, efficiency, and excellence. Magron, guide us to the battle that is just and fair. Let us be your fire that burns away the profane, leaving only the righteous. If struggle is our fundamental nature, let victory be our inevitable state of grace. So they're a little bit intense, as you would expect from a god of fire. Now there's the Midwife's Memoirs. This is about Hylia, the bird god. My mother lived every note of life's song. Bringing me into this world was her last verse. For this, my father scorned me and abandoned me, and for this very same fact, my town's midwife and adherent of Hylia raised me as her own. When I came of age, I learned that Hylia visits us on the screams of women in childbirth, and when a woman dies giving life to her child, her soul is carried away and reborn as an avian attendant of Hylia's court. Through the miracle of the Queen of Birds, my mother has been with me, watching over me my whole life. I wear the fetish charms of the cloud singer, the bird I dreamt my mother became. My feathery trinkets look gaudy and unbecoming, but it is a signifier to women in need that I am a trained midwife, blessed by Hylia and living every note of life's song. The Queen of Birds wills us to shepherd new life into the world, and not, as the other gods so often desire, to end it. A follower of Magron once mocked my faith, saying I worshipped paintbrushes and birds, piddling things beneath the gods. I do not resent the other gods and the brutal necessities that they must oversee, but is not language, love, the arts, and creativity that which separates us from simple beasts? Hylia allows us to rise above our savage, feral selves. I am often amused that upon seeing our holy aviaries, visitors frequently ask, "This is nice, but where is the real temple of Hylia?" Perhaps they think hallowed ground requires oppressive stoneworks and ceilings that hide the sky. They do not realize the Bird Queen stands not on ceremony. She makes herself manifest in the music of birds and in beauty of the ubiquitous open sky. Hylia prefers the worship of two children singing over 1,000 petitioners silently praying for victory. The Sky Mother asks so little of us, and yet so much. We are charged to live every note of life's song. It surprises me how many fail to embrace this divine calling. So Hylia is a very peaceful, artistic, life-bringing kind of god of the air and sky and birds. I don't really like birds that much as a general rule when it comes to symbology. So for that purpose, I didn't like Hylia all that much, but I like her philosophy and stuff and some of the things that she's about. You notice there's no book about Andra here. Fuck Andra. Andra is the most fucked up god in this setting. Well, then there's Woudica here. She might give her a run for the money. The queen that was, and still is. Dear sisters, do you remember your first deliverance, when you strangled your first wrongdoer? Did you see the moment when life became death? Could you see the instance when your victim realized that Woudica forgets nothing? When Woudica takes back her throne, will you face her with pride, knowing you have held to your own oaths, or will you be amongst the word breakers? Woudica teaches vengeance and memory, and while she is in exile, we must be her eyes and ears that let no injustice slip from record. We must be clenched fist that silences the lying breath. When Woudica takes back her throne, all of the injustices that have slipped through the cracks of history will be righted. The villains hiding in plain sight amongst the innocent will feel the burned queen's choking grasp. Pray that you live to see the day when you will join our queen in this cleansing of the wicked. So, not a fan of Woudica at all so far. She sounds like everything that's bad about religion in one convenient package here. But know, my sisters, that we must be ready to see the end of our days without the return of our queen, for she will take back her throne, but it may be our daughters that serve the restored court. We must continue to live as we have always lived, hated by the other faiths, even though we place justice above our own well-being. At least the Empire of Eder still holds our creed in proper esteem. It is a proper sign of respect that, by imperial custom, our clergy must oversee a contract for it to be legally binding. For who else understands the value of remembering one's oaths than Woudica's faithful? And let us not count our current blessings, for we still enjoy the support of the Paladin Order of the Steel Garrote. They, too, understand that society is built and broken by the oaths and rules of its people. When Wuduka takes back her throne, my family will know that I was right to commit my life to the exiled queen. When Wuduka takes back her throne, the Strangler will stop being a story told to frighten our daughters, but a hero woven into parables that teach our children justice. When Wuduka takes back her throne, she will bring her flawless memory with her. Every transgression, every crime, and every injustice will be revealed. When Wuduka takes back her throne, even gods won't be spared their due retribution. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe not letting Wuduka take back her throne is the way forward here. I think the whole, whatever reason she was exiled for, I'm starting to see why. Like, you know, why were you kicked out? Why were you 86th? Oh, I'm starting to see why. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it was a good idea to kick this overly obsessed with retribution and justice and power and control god out of here. I should already have a copy of every one of these in my stash, but I'm going to take them anyway.
Hello.
Because I have definitely read every one of those before. Oh, these will probably be more books about the other gods. Like Skane and Wall and Andra and Rimmergond. How many other gods are there? Abaddon. Oh, and Berith. So we've read about Wuduka. We've read about Magron and Hylia and Galawain and Abaddon. So there's... Oh, and Aethys too, yeah. Although he might have been destroyed. Yeah, I've read all these too, but we're going to read them again. This is the one about Wall, this is the one about Skane, this is the one about Berith. Final Journal of Jonas. This is Skane. He's like the god of being pissed, basically. This is the god of angst, the god of fucking rage and emo. My son, tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow I become Skane's embodiment on Aora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. For months we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise, all the while working the fields as if our hearts were content. Skane teaches us to plot with the mind, while keeping one's face impassive, inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus. In his worship, our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. Tomorrow, my master chokes on his own whip. By the time you read this, I will be dead. I pray Skane does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting, but a son deserves to know how his father died. For I have volunteered to be the effigy. Skane will inhabit my body, using this old farmer's simple flesh as a puppet of godly rage. I have been shaved and anointed. Tomorrow morning I will be your father in name only, as my manhood will be removed. That's pretty serious. My nose and ears removed. Also serious. And my useless mortal eyes will be replaced with flint stones through which Skane might see the world. This is like a very primitive version of, like, cybernetic enhancements. Instead of replacing your body parts with machines, we're just replacing them with rocks. My son, I am sorry for the lies I have told you these past few seasons, but Skane demands secrecy. Even your mother knows nothing of my furtive service to the quiet slave. Curse my name if you must, but never weep for me, for I die for the betterment of our community, to smite our Lord's corruption from the face of Aora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip, for tomorrow I become the effigy. So Skane, those people are very mad. Missives of the Hand Occult. Dearest brother, or was it sister? May this letter find you in well spirits. A man of thuggish bearing stormed into my library the other day and demanded I help him find a book on the construction of an arquebus. I thought it proper service to Wall to steer this man toward an illuminated manuscript on the subject of whittling toy soldiers and other miniature props. Unamused by my solution, I shrugged and said, What is an answer without a question? He did not find my spiritual rhetoric helpful or amusing, and so he punched out 2 of my teeth. I trust your summer has been less tumultuous than mine? In more important news, my apprentice claims that she saw the eyeless face in a dream the other night. I admit I was so mad with envy that at first I refused to believe her. Wall, forgive me for such a lapse of judgment. She described an Amawa of brilliant blue hues, with a featureless face surrounded by a swarm of eyes, no 2 eyes alike. She claims Wall ignored her questions, and she can't recall any specifics of what was said. In fact, my apprentice seems to have forgotten many things since before the visitation. She could not tell me where she grew up, or what she liked to eat. At first I was so envious of her for having seen Wall with her own eyes, but it seems Wall's visit was to conceal, not to illuminate. I pray she endures this test of faith and can look back at the event and feel the joy of mystery. What is an answer without a question? Last week I felt the solution was ignorance, but after Wall's visit I feel a road without length is closer to capturing the riddle. I worry my apprentice will look back at her visit from Wall and feel cheated, robbed of some moment of clarity we all thought we were owed when we first joined. I tried to tell her she was lucky, but she was too young to understand. What is an answer without a question? May I be dead and my soul scattered to the winds before anyone knows for certain. So Wall is like the god of, like, mystery and secrets and questions, and, like, hidden knowledge and stuff. Strange god. Probably the strangest one. And then there's the many faces of Bareth. Oh, Bareth's a little bit weird, too. Bareth is the god of life and death. How fitting we know the god of cycles, doorways, mortality, and inevitability as Bareth, while the Vailians know this very same god as Sirono. For if nothing else, Bareth teaches us that duality exists in all things. There is life in death, and death in life. Embrace this duality and you honor Bareth. In the ruins of Erglanfath, Bareth is depicted in the form of 2 semi-skeletal figures, one male, one female. Bunin Ianku and Anku Ibunin, literally life in death and death in life in the Glanfathan tongue. Male and female, inside and outside, life and death. We often think of Bareth by imagining 2 sides of a coin or the 2 end points of a journey. It is said that Bareth has the most petitioners of every god, and this is likely true. Who amongst us has not prayed for the cycle to hiccup? Who has not, in a moment of sadness, yelled at Bareth in order to make an exception for our fallen loved ones? Bareth may not rescue our loved ones, but it answers our prayers in its own divine way. Bareth is the god that makes life end in death, and it is also the god that makes death end in life. Bareth, Sirono, Bunini Anku, Ankui Bunin, whichever of the many names you prefer to use, deserves our prayers, for it has given us the promise of life's eternal renewal. So not just the god of people being born, not just the god of people dying, but the god of the whole cycle of, like, reincarnation of the soul. So anything that would trap a soul in one place and not let it go through the cycle would be something that would piss Bareth off. This is the one that's probably going to have Andra and Rimmergond. Whoever else. One second. Okay, so what do we have here next? I don't know. Let's figure it out. We've got 10 years of dawn. Oh yeah, I forgot about Aethys too. Giftbringer Idun and the enigmatic god of cold. Yeah. Aethys, Andra, and Rimmergon. Here's Aethys, the perhaps dead god. 10 years of dawn. 10 years I tilled the Vortis leaf, and 10 years I told myself that living in St. Widewin's footsteps would bring me rebirth. Each dawn, I'd pray that if thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, and yet each night would bring the same emptiness. For my decade of living as a simple dye farmer, all I have to show for it is a great deal of purple clothing. Eothas has not spoken to us since he appeared as Saint Widewin. It was my hope that Eothas would claim me as his next vessel, but alas, the Child of Light remains silent. Child of Light, I've played that game. Every day I practice the ritual of banishing the shadows of the unfaithful, and every day I work my fields in solitude without sign of Eothas returning. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, but how long must I remain lost in this long night of abandonment? Is this my punishment for keeping my faith a secret? Is Eothas hiding from me until I shout my reverence for all to hear? Surely he must know that the dear Woodens now hate him and his followers. My countrymen are quick to blame all that was terrible about the Saints' War on those of us still faithful to Eothas. Should they not be angry at the Red Sarah's soldiers? Do the dear Woodens not realize that to dismiss the god of rebirth and redemption is to prevent all hope of healing? As I pen these words, I know that I must continue to till the dye leaf. I will awake each day with hope. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring me light. Each day I will pray that the dawn stars visit me, just as they visited Saint Widewin in his field of Vorlis. Will they come to me as they came to Saint Widewin? As a man and two women, luminescent and perfect? I am told they come to presage new times. I am told many things, and I struggle to find the faith to believe it all. And yet each morning the sun rises in the eastern sky, and each morning Eothas illuminates my simple plot of land, casting away the shadows of the unfaithful in his golden gaze. I thank thee, Eothas, for all the springs I've had, and all that will come. I am in darkness. Please bring me light. So, God of light and rebirth and redemption. Possibly dead. Here we have the book about Andra. Andra. We have not had good dealings with Andra. Selected correspondences of Giftbringer Idun. Sing, O ocean waves, of Andra's sorrow, of her unrequited love for the unattainable moon, and then she threw a moon at the planet. Sing of the ocean's sorrow, so that we may forget our own. Each day the tides reenact Andra's longing for the great moon. The waters reach out at high tide, yearning for the heavenly body, only to slump into low tide when the moon proves unattainable. You asked me once why I loved Andra so dearly. How could I go from a life on dry land to being a devotee of the goddess of the oceans? I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. It is Andra's message that speaks to my heart. I have devoted my life to helping others discard painful memories, for that is the gift Andra gave me. When I lost my young daughter, my wife and I were inconsolable until a gift bearer offered to take my toddler's toys and cast them into the deepest waters. Truth be told, I and the other gift bearers I know have never even spoken to Andra. She is largely silent, and when she does speak, she uses floods and tidal waves instead of words. Well, I mean, I had quite a long conversation with her myself in words, but but it's not a big deal. But we sing of the ocean's sorrow so that others may forget theirs. Andra's story, the story of desire unanswered, actually matters to people like you and me. Magron cannot steer you to victory over sadness. Hylia cannot force joy down a crying throat. Only Andra can give us the strength to persevere when life seems without worth. And that is the answer to your question regarding why I love my goddess so dearly. So Andra's like the god of depression and, like, escapism and trying to forget and escape the pain. I mean, what a weird god. And having met her, let me tell you, she's no charmer. And finally, the last god, the enigmatic god of cold, Rimmergand. Young students are often confused by Bereth and Rimmergand's seemingly overlapping roles in holding dominion over death. Bereth oversees the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Rimmergand oversees the cold, destructive act of death itself. This difference is often difficult for novices to appreciate until they've lost a loved one and endured the absence for a time. It is Bereth that determines we will be reborn just as certainly as we will die, but Rimmergand is the executioner's axe. Rimmergand shows us that all life ends in stillness. I need only show them the symbol of Rimmergand, the bone-white aurochs skull found carved within the most ancient of Ingwithan ruins. It is a symbol of death and doom in every culture. Any child with 4 winters under his belt needs no introduction to the ancient symbol. Rimmergand embodies not just death, but all manifestations of collapse, be they famine, plague, or simple bad luck. Rimmergand is a primal god, silent and inscrutable as death itself. He makes himself known with his passing, not by proclamation. There are innumerable stories of the god's terrifying passage through the lands of Aora. When the beast of winter stirs, bitter winds and beastly howling follow the creature's every move. Wherever the beast plants a hoof, all life withers into dust. The faithful of Rimmergand insist that even another god's life can end in stillness. They claim the other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death, but we know not if this boast holds true. Though the beast of winter is shrouded in snowy clouds, those who have seen the shaggy white monster claim that the souls of the fallen can be seen clinging, or perhaps frozen, to the beast's fur. The dwarves of the boreal south have numerous stories that tell a similar plot. A brash hero seeks out the beast of winter to rescue the souls trapped in its fur. These tales never end well, for even if the hero saves his beloved soul, the hero dies in the process. For it is not a proper tale of Rimmergand unless the hero's life ends in stillness. Alright, well that is not a very cheery god. So we've read the books of all the gods, we are up to speed, we are reminded of what we need to know about the gods as we move forward. The 11 gods is how many there are. Are there 11 of these things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, no. There's not 11 crystals, and even adding the crystals and everything else together, there's not 11 things. So forget it. Just forget it.
Keeping quiet.
Alright, now that we've spent 30 minutes reading books, to, I'm sure, everybody's great joy, we can move forward with this thing, whatever it is. Let's ponder this for a moment. Alright, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe some crazy shit's going to jump off, but we will deal with it. Here we go. Oh. We just loot a thing, apparently. Alright, I thought a little more was going to happen when we clicked on that thing. Luminescent Adra Shard. Crisp flashes of light run through this Adra Shard, pulsing in its faceted core like veins of light, fueled by a heart of fire. That sounds cool. I would like to have one of those. Right into the stash with you. Oh, now this thing is activatable. Here we go. Now this is where shit's gonna happen. This is where shit's gonna happen.
Hey.
There, please.
I'm ready.
Palagina. Everybody else,
Yeah.
back the fuck up.
Following your lead.
Just in case
I'm ready.
something terrible happens.
Hey.
It's better to be prepared. That's the Boy Scout way. Uh-oh. Here we go. It's getting serious. Whoa! It's getting real serious.
My spirit reveals.
constellations. Cool. For the different gods. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10. Abaddon. Galawain. Magron. Hylia. Boudica. Andra. Wall. Remergon, Skane, maybe? Or maybe that's Skane. Bareth, Skane. I think there's one for every god, I think, except for Aothis. I think Aothis is missing. Probably because Aothis is dead. Interesting. These are cool. Oh! Ha! Let's see if I guessed right. Yes, 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 yes. And for some reason, Wall and Boudica aren't lighting up with a thingy when I hit that button.
Of course.
Well, now what? Oh, now I can mess with each one of these. A piercing ring fills your ears as you near Wall's shrine. There is no other response. So here's the shrine of Bareth. Here's the shrine of Hylia. Here's the shrine of one of these three, or all three of them, perhaps. Nothing happens when you approach Boudica's shrine, so I was right, that is Boudica. So Boudica and Wall are, like, out of commission. And this is the one for Reimergand, Andra, and Skane, I guess. Or for one of those three. So Bareth and Hylia both have their own. It seems like these other ones are 3 gods each. Alright, what should I do? Which one should I click on first? Well, let's go to this one first. Galawain, Magron, and Abaddon. I kind of wish I had Durance with me right now, because he might have interesting things to say, since he's a priest and all. But it's okay. It's okay. Just gonna quick save. This one's just Galawain. The other two just don't get one, apparently. Before this shrine sits the constellation of a snarling hound, fangs bared. I guess we'll pray to Galawain. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. Okay, that's Boudica's, that's Wall's, that's Skane's, that's Rimergon's, that's Andra's, that's Magron's, that's Hylia's. This one here is Galawain's. That's Bareth's and that's Abaddon's. So survival begins with strength from within. The air around you stirs, and a gust of warm wind blows across the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. Behind you is a darkened room filled with candlelit shrines. Ahead, you hear the howl of some kind of hound. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. I'm gonna howl back, why not? The beast bays in response, its voice high and clear. The thick undergrowth shivers with movement, and heavy paws pound the wet grass. You're not certain if the creature is hunting or leading you, but you instinctively give chase. As you tumble through dew-spackled bushes and clawing brambles, each stride feels longer than the last. You draw lungfuls of You draw lungfuls of crisp, clear air and feel your energy renewed. The rhythm of your stride and the thumping of the beast's paws drive the blood thrumming into your ears. You speed ahead, following the hound's cries, when a split-finger pine crashes to the ground in front of you. A massive bear lunges into the gap and roars. It catches sight of you. You turn and race in the opposite direction, leaping over the fallen tree trunk. Pine cones crunch underfoot. The bear lumbers after you. Its hot breath washes over the back of your neck, filling your nose with the rank odor of slaughter. You see a clearing, just past a thicket of broad leaves, and sprint toward it. As you break through the foliage, you see a massive lioness curled up in the clearing in front of you. With a last burst of energy, you divert your momentum and hurl yourself into the bushes. Any second now, you expect to feel the bear fall upon you. But a furious roar on the other side of the clearing draws your attention. The bear has stopped at the tree line. It swipes the empty air with claws large enough to rend armor, but it does not advance. The lioness, for her part, twists her body into a tight coil. She growls, her ears pressed against her head, but she makes no move to attack the intruder. Kana gives a breathless laugh. "Incredible! Have you ever seen beasts so large? I'd like to carry this appreciation for them into the future. Let's see if we can't slip past now." Thanks, Kana. You back deeper into the foliage, keeping your eyes on the two mighty predators. As you crawl backwards, the heel of your hand brushes something furred. A warm sigh grazes your cheek. You freeze in place, slowly turning your head to see what waits behind you. Two amber eyes shine in the darkness. Ooh, what can it be? Is it a wolf? Perhaps we ought to take our chances with the bear. Oh, Kana. The eyes meet your gaze briefly, then turn to the standoff in the clearing. The hound behind you yawns, fangs flashing. So is this Galawain? When you turn back, the lion and the bear have disappeared. In their place is a stone wolf's maw, gaping wide enough to swallow you whole. Beyond it is the outline of a temple, towering but indistinct.
Blood must feed the maw, Watcher. See that a true champion reigns.
So this is what Galawain wants me to do. See that a true champion reigns. I will turn back to Ter Evron. I think I just got a new quest. And I think I updated my other quest. Alright. Earn divine favor. It seems the gods want something from me as well. To earn favor, I'll have to complete the task given to me in the vision. Galawain showed me a battle between a great lion and a mighty bear. And then I got this other quest. The Old Queen and the New King. Well, the Old Queen is probably a reference to Boudica. But who is the New King? Two mighty hunters, a lioness and a bear, wait in a deadlock. They face off but do not fight. It falls to me to resolve this stale conflict one way or another. Travel to the stone maw in Galawain's vision. Galawain showed me a vision of a stalled fight between a lioness who lies in wait and the bear who circles her. He also revealed a cave shaped like a wolf's maw in an area that looks like a temple district. I can probably learn more there. Alright, so we have to find this wolf's maw temple place. We have to find this stone temple and be a pilot thereof. You stand once again before the shrine of Galawain and the Hound's Head constellation, which marks the pedestal. From time to time you hear a low rumbling sound like a growl. Alright, we're not going to do any more praying here for now, so we need to go to these other two. So if that one's just Galawain, then this one is probably just Andra. Or just Rumergond, but it's probably Andra. much to my chagrin. Not a fan of Andra. Don't really want to get tangled up in her nonsense again. Alright. We'll quick save. Oh, it is Rimmergond. It's not Andra. Wow, cool. In the nearby constellation, you can make out the shape of a strange horned beast. From time to time, you think you sense a faint chill emanating from the shrine itself. Let's pray to Rimmergond. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. All life ends in stillness is the correct one for him. All life ends in stillness. You feel a sudden gust of cold air, as if the shrine were bursting into wintry life. The frigid wind cuts through you like a sharpened blade, and darkness encroaches upon the edges of your sight. We're back before the Pillars of Eternity. Here we go, it's getting serious. You kneel and close your eyes. As you pray, the blackness fades to white, and a howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is of a broad, frozen plain. See, now my character Katie should be very comfortable with this, because she's from the White That Wends. So this is like going home for her. You see a procession of elves in the distance, periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness. They trudge over snowbanks, their heads down against the driving winds. As they trek past you, one man bundled in furs turns his head. You headed for Noon Frost and the Frost-hewn Breach too? Before you can answer, he's lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into the pale emptiness overhead and stretches as far as you can see in either direction. The elves stop in front of a mirror-smooth section that's framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can't see what's on the other side, but a debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovels from their sealskin packs and begin hacking at the smooth ice, their implements flying through the air in swift, shining arcs. Though they throw their bodies into their labor, not one of them so much as scratches the polished ice. Yet, whoa. I don't know what happened to my mouth right there. It just went off on its own tangent. With my brain was like not involved in. Yet with each blow, something bellows in the distance. Adair calls out to the elves, "Hey, you might want to hold off on that." But that howling wind seems to swallow up his voice. Palagina's head whips around to see where the bellowing is coming from. "Forget about the elves. We need to be ready to move." She turns again to face you, flexing her hands in the cold air. "Or fight." The elves hack away, seemingly oblivious to the furious lowing, and to the tremors under your feet. The snow has risen to your knees. Your legs feel frozen in the drifts. I think I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna be still. I don't feel like I need to do anything here. You watch as the elves continue to work at the ice. They pay no heed to the rumbling roar or the numbing wind. Their movements, however, gradually slow. They labor at the ice with arduously sluggish movements until they finally freeze in place, some mid-swing and others preparing for the next blow. You touch the elf nearest to you, and he crumbles into a mound of snow. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elves in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spiderweb crack in the smooth barrier. It's the only thing that mars the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever's on the other side of the strange doorway, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back and see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs in the snow do you realize how strong its pull is. So it is literally pulling me in. We're caught in a tractor beam.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Rimmergond.
A deep whisper carries from the crack. As quiet as it is, it shakes the ground beneath your feet. The patience of Remergond. Seal the frost-hewn breach. Okay. That sounds like something I could do. Plug the hole with your finger. Nice. I think I'll plug the hole with a handful of snow. That seems more appropriate. You fill your hand with snow and shove it into the crack. It hardens instantly, and a hoary rime grows over the smooth surface of the frozen doorway, fusing it with the rest of the wall. When you take your hand away, a perfect crystal of ice remains in your palm. As you examine the crystal, the vision around you fades, but the unmelting shard of ice remains in your hand. Gained an item, glowing ice shard. At Remergond's shrine, I saw a procession of pale elves perish before a wall of ice. Into the White Void, new quest. Man, we just spent a lot of time in the White Void, up in the White March. More cold areas. Remergond shows me a vision of a gate, the frost-hewn breach, and the pale elves trying to open it. In the vision, the elves crumbled into snow, and I sealed the gate with an ice crystal that I still had when the waking dream ended. Find Noonfrost in Twin Elms. The frost-hewn breach appeared to be part of a temple called Noonfrost. If I can find Remergond's place of worship in Twin Elms, I may also find the meaning behind the vision. The locals must know something about this place. Alright, cool. So that's our next quest from the gods, and it sounds... And then the last one is presumably going to be Bareth. Oh, there's two more. Bareth and Hylia. That are both going to have stuff that they want us to do, I suspect. Once more you approach the shrine in the constellation of the Beast of Winter. This time the cold emanating from the shrine is unmistakable. A thin frost is formed upon the edges of the stone. Alright, we'll leave it alone for now. Alright, we'll do Bareth's next. But that is going to be in our next episode. That's going to do it for this one. So thanks for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity.